Here's one of the reasons that we have berms and basins on your small farm or homestead, especially if you've got ducks like Muscovy ducks who love to be in the water. This area, we had a big rainstorm, and this is the catchment that we have to slow and spread the water down to keep it from running out this area that we cross. And you can see we got a little soakage through there, but we have a basin where the ducks can swim around. Now it's not very deep. They mainly just walk and wade around in it. They did find the chicken scratch that we had put down here. But when ducks are eating, they want to have as much water as possible. And this is a contained area that's going to have water for maybe the next 24 hours, 72 hours, and ultimately gives the ducks a place where they can come and can swim around. Now, not all the ducks are out here. Oh, we're at 2x zoom. Not all the ducks are out here right now, which is okay. We have a couple drakes that are fighting. But for this clutch, or this batch, we've got a female that keeps coming out and hanging out with these older males. And we want to make sure that they are away from everybody else, able to forage in the environment. And they were already foraging on this hill back here with the seeds and such. And so I invited them down here to play in the pond. Or it's not a pond, it's really a basin, a catch basin, an erosion control tool. And it's going to get dug out pretty far, all the way across here. And we're going to go ahead and put a duck shelter down here as well. Maybe a small corral for ducks. We can let them out during the day. But it gives them something to drink water in, to cool themselves off during the day. They're going to eat mosquito larvae. They're going to eat slugs. Hopefully they don't figure out going back in the woods. But ultimately, a little bit of duck action going on. Now, there are some risks to them coming down here. It's clear sky. A hawk can get them. There's not much to hide under or otherwise protect them. And they actually like to stay within the fence line. So they'll go up and down the fence line, foraging for bugs, foraging for seed, and ultimately that gives them some protection, because if a bird would come down, the bird's going to get in that fence before it's going to get to the duck itself. And of course, there's a little shelter up there. But giving the ducks something to swim in, I'd much rather give them a natural basin, even if it's not going to hold water, than to give them a, he's clearing his nose over there, than to give them like a kid's wading pool or anything like that. Because those little pools are going to break down in the UV light and eventually fall apart. Now, another benefit of these basins is the nutrients the ducks are going to leave behind. So these ducks are going to leave behind nutrients. That is a crow, actually, the bird flying around there. The ducks are going to leave behind nutrients that are going to make this basin even more of a catch for nutrients, for fertilization. And so I can ladle water up out of there and feed potted plants. We got some potted plants over here temporarily. And that wet spot, I'm probably going to put some pots just to absorb that moisture. But ultimately, the ducks will add to the fertilization. They'll make that mud nice and smooth, make the bottom nice and smooth of the basin. And they'll have some protection, some means of cooling off. And so we're extending the habitat. Now, how do we make this better? It would be better if we had a bunch of willow trees around it, and we had cattail maybe, so that there is some place to hide or to protect themselves in there. And we can do that with a hedge on this outer edge. So I'm looking at the measurements to put a hedge in here and still allow the hedge to fill out and get a vehicle next to it. Now, like I mentioned before, I was going to put a precast concrete basin in here so we can get a higher volume of water by making this basin much deeper. Everything still works for the ducks. The only thing is that when they get mud and muck into the bottom of that precast concrete, I will periodically need to pump out the water, which in the drought season or dry season, I can pump that water out and spray it on the slope over here to water the grass. Or I can use that water elsewhere around the property nearby within a hose length in order to water plants. So that's why pairing a nursery here, either in the back or pairing a nursery out here on the other end, is going to help us get more value out of this collection of water. There's probably only 300 gallons of water there. And again, the ducks are going to impact the water. They're going to impact the embankments. They're going to manure all over the place down here. So it will be hard to establish grass, but it's a start. It's something that gives them additional value. It gives them additional habitat, and then it captures the nutrients here on the farm rather than eroding off someplace else, but captures the nutrients on the farm and delivers to us duck meat and eventually aquatic plants. I'm Justin Hitt with Prosperity Homestead. This is part of our Berms and Basins program where we show you how to master the water on your land in order to have greater abundance, to reduce the cost of irrigation, reduce the amount of equipment that's required to run these types of larger permaculture or small farm sites. And then ultimately, how do we leverage the natural resources, the fact that we have 44 inches of rain a year, how do we leverage that to provide the best meats, vegetables, habitat, ecosystem, reduce the amount of mosquitoes, ultimately get eggs, milk and meat. That's how we do it. So you can join our Berms and Basins program or get on the waiting list at www.prosperityhomestead.org. I'm going to get back to doing my chores, which includes now mounding up some straw so that we can use it as mulch for the human manure toilets. Be on the lookout for our work days. We have opportunities for you to get hands-on experience and training, both here and on other farms in the region. And we'll just work as kind of a matchmaker and get you set up. And so you'll find information about that either on our contact page, www.prosperityhomestead.org/contact. All right, the goats are telling me I'm done. You can find me, like and subscribe.